If you like what I make and want to help out the channel, make sure you subscribe to it, turn on notifications, leave a like on the video below, and comment as well. Thanks for your support, guys. Hey there, YouTube! Welcome back to the Gekko. Another day, another video for you guys. This time, we're going to do a little bit of a change to the way we're looking at talent trees. Before we start the video though, I'm the Gekko in case you guys are new. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn on the bell so you get notifications every time I upload a new video. That way you guys don't miss any content. Rise of Civilizations is what we're playing and we're making tons of videos of it. So make sure you guys are subscribed so you don't miss any videos. And thank you to Rise of Civilizations for sponsoring this video. Also, the way we're going to look at this tree, as I mentioned, will be in two different ways. One, the same way we've been approaching it, saying I'm a relatively new player that has a relatively smaller understanding on how talents work, how commanders work. I want to be able to use my commanders daily as much as possible until I become a more savvy player in the game. And in that way, I'll redo my talents and I'll use talent resets. And, you know, it is what it is. Sometimes you have to, you know, swallow the bullet and just to be able to progress and not be like me where you have a ton of commanders with talents missing, which I still have some of them because I just haven't had the time to sit down and get this done. It's sad, I know, but again, I've been sending troops to rallies, to barbarians, to stuff like that without talents. So the same reason as why I haven't done it, there's a lot of other people who haven't done it, and I want to give you guys a simple way to categorize each commander, maximize a tree that you can work with, and then figure it out from there. There's a different approach, however, to talents and how to decide which commander gets what. We'll look at that at the second half of this video. So let's talk about Nuke, today's branch. Nuke is a 48-point branch, meaning you need 48 talent points to max it out. And it's the most common talent by a lot. There are 13 out of 28 commanders who can use this tree. That's almost 1 in every 2 that have this tree available. And the big thing about it is that it is very much mixed in with other trees that are very, very useful, like with archery, like let's see who else she has it, I think with synthesis, which we talked about this earlier in a different video. And by the way, she is a perfect example of someone you can use both for synthesis and for nuking. There are many ways to efficiently maximize this tree, but there are 4 or 5 at least primary commanders that if you decide these are the commanders I want to max my nuke tree and use them as nukers, perfectly fine. There are overall, out of the 13, a bunch of them that you can use side effects of the nuke tree. And in the second half of this video, when we talk about a different approach for the trees, you'll see how that works. But basically what ended up happening is that in terms of synthesis and in terms of gathering, maximizing the trees is kind of a straightforward thing. In her case, for example, you do want to have some synthesis involved, maybe not. Maybe you want to have more peacekeeping and nuke, leave synthesis out. That is possible as well. It just depends how you want to use it, but that's again a much more advanced situation. Let's go look first of all at the 13 commanders that have this tree, and then we're gonna go look at the 5 ones that if you maximize this tree, you'll do good. You'll pair it up well with their skills. And then go to the second part, which I'm still keeping a little bit secret for now. All right, so let's do this. Markswoman is probably the weaker out of all of them that has the ability for nuking, and she's also an archer and peacekeeper. After her, I think Sarka, right? Yes, Sarka has nuke. Constance has nuke. Both of them are synthesis gathering nukes that that's the 3 trees we have talked about. I think Gaius is the same thing. Yeah, Gaius is the same thing, except he is leadership instead of synthesis. There is also, what's her face? Let me see if I can find her. Kusunoki has it. Kusunoki is also a archer nuker who is super useful. Sun Tzu has it right here, our friend Sun Tzu. We have Boudica, which we already talked about. We have Pelagius, who we haven't spoken about yet, but he's also like a cavalry nuker. You have, what's his face? I completely forget his name. Yi something. Yi Xiongye, who's also a nuker. You have Minamoto, who is probably one of the most known nukers out there. Here he is right here. And we have two more, Frederick and El Cid. Sorry, I was gonna say El Cid, I clicked the wrong guy. Anyway, out of all of these guys, there are 5 that if you say, you know what, I'm gonna maximize the tree and hope for the best, you wouldn't be doing the worst, making the worst decision. The 5 of them are, let's start with Sun Tzu. Sun Tzu, well, actually, you know what, before we even get into all that, let's go look at the tree. It's probably a better idea. So this tree is all about a commander that is good dealing damage with active skills. What it does is it essentially gives you a ton of attacks. So you have attack 0.5% and then defense another 1.5%. You can reduce skill damage taken by almost 6%, and you can also get additional rage for every normal attack. Then on the next branch, we have more defense here and more attack for all troops. And then comes some interesting talents. Naked Rage, increase skill damage dealt by 2% and also increase the skill damage taken by 2%. So this is straight up rage. Increase active skill damage by 1%. So you can actually increase your active skill by 3%, which is pretty cool. After the primary commander uses a skill, active skill damage of the secondary increases by up to 6%, which is really good if you put your nuker as a secondary commander. And we have, of course, enhanced additional skill damage by another 6%. So really you have a ton of damage right here for skills, for active skills, for damage. And then come a little bit of the like connector nodes, which are all about health, march speed, defense, attack, health, and health. These are all for all troops. And the two top, before the max one, the two top talents are instantly restore 20 rage whenever a skill is used, and that's up to 60. So every time you use a skill, you instantly get 60 rage, which is pretty insane. After using an active skill, increase the skill damage by 2% for the next 6 seconds, up to 6. And finally, normal attacks have a 10% chance to grant an additional 20 rage, going all the way up to 100. Now, getting here is 48 points deep, okay? Getting in 48 points deep for this 100 rage might be very, very useful for you. Specifically if it's like a commander that does massive amounts of damage and all you want is for them to keep raging on. This tree is super strong, as mentioned, for active skills, but it also has the ability to give your secondary commander a little bit more of a buff. So even if you have like a primary commander who does not have nuke at all, who you want a primary as infantry, let's say, or garrison, you could still give it this, get all the way up to here with about 1, and you have 1 here and then another 3. So with 7 points you can get this skill pretty easily, and it will be this talent, it'll be super useful to help out your secondary commander. So this tree, there are 4 primary, well, there are technically 5, but I don't like one of them. There are 4 commanders that you're really gonna want to emphasize their nuking abilities. One of them being Sun Tzu. Sun Tzu starts with 450 direct damage, adding additional damage factor of 150 and rage. He garrisons up a little bit. Then he has an increased troop damage, increase the troop damage reduction by 4% and increase infantry unit health by 4%, which is his infantry skill. Then you have here skill damage bonus going up to 20%, and add to that some more damage factor to maximum of 3 targets. This is not the highest amount of damage you can get, okay? Out of them, Sun Tzu is probably one of the weaker ones, but he still makes it to the list. And especially if you make him like an infantry main with a little bit of nuking in the background, specifically for that second commander skill talent right there, you should be golden. but you could just as easily maximize him and utilize him as a primary nuker pretty well. Boudica is also another one that has a pretty decent set of talents of skills for her for nuking, specifically because her first skill does 600 direct damage factor with attack reduction and rage reduction. She also goes on to rage restore and healing factor, and has a ton of bonus damage based on specific criteria we're not gonna go into. And finally, her main skill starts, her like final enhanced skill starts at 600, and you can see that the next level is already at 1000. So she's gonna do a lot of damage with this enhancement once she gets there. So she wouldn't be the worst idea as a nuker, especially if you make her perhaps a peacekeeping nuker or a synthesis nuker of some shape or form, depending on how you want to use her. You can really enjoy her abilities and get a good amount of damage out of her as a nuker, as a lead nuker. Another lead nuker who's super strong is Yisong Ye. This guy has a direct damage factor of 1400 on his active skill. On his first skill, okay, maxed out. And then you have some rage restore and archer attack bonus up to 100%, which is completely gnarly. The garrison part, because he is also a garrison commander, but you have skill damage bonus, an extra bonus on the bonus you get, so that's pretty good. And add to that a 1400 damage factor on your first enhanced level, 1700 on the second one. He's gonna do some serious damage as a nuker, potentially an archer nuker mix. Another guy is our classic friend, the guy who everyone knows, and there are a lot of different ways to build him, Minamoto. People like to use Minamoto in pretty much every shape and form that he can come in. Some people have him as peacekeeping, some people have him as a cavalry nuker, some people have him as a peacekeeping nuker, some people have him only as a nuker. It's unbelievable the amount of depth they added into the game once they created these trees, because now each commander can serve a completely different purpose by simply changing the talent tree. So this is a really nice one, and he also has a direct damage factor of 1400 plus an additional 600 damage factor, which both have extra buffs from the talents if you go through with the nuke selection. Add the cavalry skill, which is pretty neat. Add the peacekeeping, which is the strongest one out of all of them. And then you get into warlord, where damage taken increased. So you increase normal attacks by a certain percent. And then it comes again, another 1400 plus additional 600 damage, which you can just completely wreck with. So honestly, another great selection if you want to just say, I'm maxing this tree and screw it. Minamoto can do it as well. You can use them in many different combinations, okay? There are tons of combinations you can go with, and he will show up again probably in both peacekeeping and cavalry tree, because just that's how good he is. There are a few of these commanders who can be configured in different ways. So I keep saying, and I'll say it again, it's up to you how you play your game, okay? Our final guy is the guy I'd like the least, which is El Cid. I'm not a big fan of him. I don't know why. He does do direct damage of 1,000, which at max level, which is bigger and better than Sun Tzu and Boudica in terms of their first skill. And he does have, if I'm not mistaken, more damage bonus. He has also additional damage factor in both his skills. So he has 2 skills with additional damage factor. And this skill has a little bit, like, it increases damage dealt by infantry, so it really doesn't help too much. But you have 2 first skills that are super nukey. So this is a guy that you can actually add, after you have 10 skill points and you max out these 2 skills, he can be a really good nuker, like smack people kind of nuker. Frederick is also another guy with nuke, which we're not going to talk about because he is going to appear a lot in the future as well. I did want to talk about the second approach to these trees, which is why this video is going to be a little bit longer. And if you guys like the content so far, just wanted to ask you, you know, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. You know what I mean? It helps out a lot. It just lets me know you guys are enjoying the content. The second approach to how to play this game and select your talents is an approach that is more advanced. It'll take you time to truly fully understand this game to actually start making these decisions. As you can see, I even haven't gotten to the point where I'm feeling comfortable making these decisions. The way it works is pretty much you have these commanders who are very good at more than one thing. So now the question is, how do you balance everything? Well, first of all, as you guys can notice, the talent trees are made of two types of nodes. There is the filler nodes, which are all troops types of buffs. And then there are actual talents, which are all these image filled like nodes, okay, that actually have like an actual buff or something of the sort. These are also buffs, but it's a little bit, these are the actual talents. Now, the way you can look at it is by simply going, okay, let's look at this guy, for example. I want him as a, I don't know, I'm just throwing this out there, as a leader and as a nuker. What is this skill? Enhance healing effect received by troop, or enhance skill this. Okay, grant an additional 2 damage for every time the commander's troops are attacked. Increase normal attack damage. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So as part of this commander, I can decide that the best approach is to get this skill, this talent right here, this talent, this talent, this talent, and let's say this talent. Okay, let's pretend that these are the talents out of this whole tree that really matter to me. How would I know it? You pretty much have to go through, read the text to know what does the talent do, and decide whether this commander fits, this talent fits what you want to do with this commander. So I've been seeing a lot of people who have actually used all 3 trees as a siege leader nuker, but really unlocked 3 talents here, 1 talent here, and let's say 4 talents here. So another way to approach this is by saying this is the best combination, these are the best things based on the specific commander. And that's why a lot of other YouTubers have been focusing on commander specific videos over like full tree, full like branch videos. And that's fair. That's actually, if you want to get to the top level of the game, that was the whole point of this change. So you'll have a strategic need to consistently figure out how you want to use this commander from here on out. How are you making changes in your game? And then adapt the talents based on that. This is why I have been working on something on the side that hopefully I'll be able to share with you guys sooner rather than later, that will help us all understand better what kind of combinations we can get done. So for now, all I gotta say is the way I'm gonna keep approaching this is I will every time explain again that you'll have the ability to mix and match, but I'm giving you guys a bare bones, very simple initial way to look at a tree. And once you feel comfortable with how you want to play, you pick a specialization, because early on you want to be specialized. That's what Ronnie, legendary Ronnie, shout out to that guy, awesome YouTuber, always says, you know, you gotta first of all pick a priority. Are you an infantry, a cavalry, or an archer? And most people don't use archers. I don't know why. So let's say you're a cavalry guy. So if you're a cavalry guy, why would you take cavalry commanders and put them as nukers? It makes no sense. But if I'm an infantry player, then I can put a cavalry commander into a nuker tree more than into cavalry tree, because I don't need it, because I'm focused primarily on infantry. Now later on in the game, somewhere where none of us have gotten yet, is the area where the game is old enough where we have all these different buffs and all these different commanders that are mostly maxed out, and there is all these different new features that we don't know about yet that will change the whole landscape, or how you look at the game, of how you look at war, of how you look at fighting, on how you pick commanders, on how you send your troops out. You'll get to a point where a rally won't be just fill the rally. It will be like send 50% cavalry, 50% range. And that's what you'll have to do, because that's the combination you're using based on the rally leader and the commanders the rally leader has, the skin the rally leader has, the buff the rally leader has, and so forth and so on. So to just try to finish this video before we hit like a freaking 30-minute mark, the way we are going to look at things is at a full tree overview, then a full tree usage to get to the final primary skill. In some trees, it's actually super beneficial to get here, but the trade-off might be very big compared to like something like gathering, where the trade-off is nothing because you don't really use those guys unless you're gathering. So why not max the tree? Which is why I started with the first 2 trees. The upcoming trees we're going to see, specifically the ones in the red category and in the blue category, will probably require you to do more training and more thinking and more analyzing and just more reading and figuring out how you want to play your game so you maximize your commanders. Anyway, I'm the Gekko. It's been a long video. Thank you guys very much for watching it. If you stuck to the end, again, I'll ask you to hit that like button. Let me know you guys enjoy my content, this kind of stuff. In the comment section, you're welcome to leave me anything. Hi, great video, questions, comments, suggestions, anything. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, everything down below. If you want to come play Rise of Civilizations with me, link down below as well to download the game. Until the next time, I'm out of here. Thank you guys again very much. Peace.